Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are here with lecture number 13, and before we move on, let us first talk about the objectives for today. This lecture is in continuation with the previous one, in which we talked about the advanced sentence structures briefly. We talked about parallelism in detail. In the previous lecture we did all the related exercises, and I hope you understood very clearly what parallelism is. And in today's lecture we are going to talk about run-on sentences and sentence fragments in a lot more detail as compared to the previous lecture, and we are going to do the practice exercises as well. So let's move on and start off with a series of practice exercises and some very comprehensive handouts on run-on sentences and sentence fragments. We are basically going to talk about how to identify these errors in sentences and how to correct them, so that your composition is moving in a smooth flow, and it's very comprehensive, it's very connected and easier to understand when somebody reads it. First of all, we're going to talk about the run-on sentences. This is a very comprehensive handout on run-on sentences that contains the introduction. It has the definition of run-on sentences, how we make the corrections, and then we have a series of 5 exercises, very comprehensive, very to the point, and we are going to discuss those, and by the end of this handout you'll be able to understand very clearly what run-on sentences are, how they are identified in a piece of writing, and how they are corrected. So let's move on and start off with what are run-on sentences. A run-on is 2 or more complete thoughts that are run together with no adequate punctuation to mark the break between them. As a result of the run-on, the reader is confused and unsure of where on one thought ends and the next one begins. Now, run-on sentences are very, very easy to identify. The most important thing about run-on sentences is that they are 2 or more complete sentences that are just fused or put together without any connecting punctuation mark or a coordinating conjunction or anything that would make them appear as a logical connection. So it is like reading 2 separate sentences. You know where you have paused, where you need a full stop, or where you need a comma or a semicolon or even a coordinating conjunction, but it's not there in the sentence. So that's where you identify a run-on sentence. So it's basically as a result, when there is a run-on sentence, the reader is confused and unsure where one sentence ends and the other begins. So that is the problem with a run-on sentence. 2 types of run-ons are fused sentences and comma splices. Now we have 2 types of run-ons. Basically one of them is fused sentences. They have no punctuation at all to mark the break between the thoughts. Now fused means that is mixed, that is written in a way that does not mark the break between those. जहाँ पे sentence में break आना है या जहाँ पे connection टूट रहा है या नया connection बन रहा है, वो चीज़ identified नहीं होती, वो जगह उस sentence में. So that sentence is called a fused sentence, and the other one is comma splice. Let's first look at what a fused sentence is in run-on sentences. It's basically a sentence that has no punctuation mark that could tell you that one thought ends here and the other begins. So fused sentence की example यहाँ दी है. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. Now you heard that I gave a very brief pause at the word pie. That means यहाँ पर कहीं full stop और नया sentence शुरू होने का एक indication होनी चाहिए थी, but it's not there. So these are 2 different sentences that are just written together, and when you read them, there is you simply have no idea where to stop and where to believe that the next thought has started. So Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. So sentences like these are called fused sentences. In other run-ons known as comma splices, a comma is used to connect or splice together the 2 complete thoughts. However, a comma alone is not enough to connect 2 complete thoughts. Some connection stronger than a comma alone is needed. Now the second kind of run-on sentence is comma splice. Now splice splice means to connect two things together in a way that they fix or they fit into each other. So when you are identifying a sentence as having an error of comma splice, that means that there are two thoughts that have been separated with the help of a comma. Comma वहाँ पर है, but comma alone is not doing the function that is required. There is some other connection, some other stronger break is needed there. So comma splice का मतलब है कि comma को आपने दो sentences को splice करने के लिए use किया है, but it's not enough. It's where you need some other very, very strong connection that could actually enhance the meaning or the break where the sentence one sentence ends and the other begins. So comma splice की example यहाँ पर दी है. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie, comma, she didn't want to risk high cholesterol. Now they have put comma after the word pie, but you know that the one sentence ends here and the other begins. There is some other very strong connection that is needed. Either you have to simply replace this comma with a full stop and capitalize S here so that it marks the beginning of a new sentence, and you have two separate sentences. Or you need to put some kind of subordinating conjunction or coordinating conjunction to connect these two sentences. Comma splices are the most common kind of run-on. They have a comma at the dividing point between thoughts, complete thoughts. However, the comma alone is not sufficient. A stronger, clearer mark is needed between the two thoughts. So this is about comma splice. Comma splice is a kind of a run-on where you need some other connection as compared to a comma that is already there to mark the break between the two thoughts. People often write run-ons when the second complete thought begins with the following words. Now most of the times people make a mistake of a run-on sentence where these words begin the second part of the sentence, that is I, we, and then we have these first, second, third persons. I, we, first person singular and plural. You, they are the second person. He, she, it the third person. जब आपकी second वाला sentence usually in word से शुरू होता है तो वहाँ पर लोग अक्सर comma splice की गलती करते हैं. And then these other two columns that we have here, there, this, that, now, then, next. When you are beginning a sentence with these words especially, that's where you are more prone to making a comma splice mistake. Now moving on, let's see how many different ways are there to basically correct a run-on sentence. Here are 4 common methods of correcting a run-on. Number 1, use a period and a capital letter to separate the two complete thoughts. In other words, make two separate sentences of the two complete thoughts. If you see that there are two different thoughts, two complete sentences there that have been simply put together, or there is a comma splice, what you have to do is you just simply separate both the sentences, put a full stop after the first part and capitalize the first letter of the second and make those sentences two separate sentences. तो किसी किस्म का कोई फुल स्टॉप कॉमा फ्यूज्ड सेंटेंस कॉमा स्प्लाइस का प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहेगा. आपके दो सेंटेंसेस अलग अलग हो जाएंगे एंड यू डोंट नीड टू use any connection to connect them. So this is one way of correcting a run-on sentence. You make two separate sentences of the two complete thoughts. That's how you do it. Like this, Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. Now, looking at the example, we have this fused sentence example here, and look at the way they have corrected it. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. Full stop. She का S capital किया हुआ है. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. You have made two different sentences, two separate sentences of this fused sentence, that is one sentence. और आपकी थॉट कंप्लीट हो गई, आपकी जो बात आप कहना चाहते हैं वो आपने कह दी है, और आप को किसी भी किस्म का फ्यूज सेंटेंस कॉमा स्प्लाइस का प्रॉब्लम जो है वो यहाँ पर नज़र नहीं आ रहा. The second way to correct a run-on is by using a comma plus a coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions are these that are written in the bracket: and, but, for, or, nor, so, and yet. These are your coordinating conjunctions. You can use either one of those, any one of those, to connect your sentence and make it a complete connected whole rather than having a fused sentence or a comma splice. Now, one very important thing about this is that you have to see what coordinating conjunction basically connects the two thoughts that you have. Now, look at this example. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. This again is a fused sentence, and see how they have connected it. Rhonda decided to stop eating pies for she didn't want to risk high cholesterol. For is the coordinating conjunction that is connecting your first thought with the second one, and whenever you use a coordinating conjunction you always put a comma before that. So this is not a comma splice, and you have a sentence that does not contain any run-on error, although it did in the beginning. So by using a coordinating conjunction you can connect a run-on. This is the second way of correcting or connecting a run-on sentence. The third one is use a semicolon to connect the two complete thoughts. Now, semicolon, as you have studied in the punctuation marks, that is a slightly longer pause than the comma and slightly shorter pause than a full stop. So you can connect these thoughts that are run-on sentences with the help of a semicolon as well. This particular sentence, that is the fused sentence, Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol, can be connected with the help of a semicolon, that is right here. Decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. Now, note semicolons are often misused. Take care to use them correctly when connecting fragments. Now, when you are connecting sentence fragments, you have to use them very carefully. But right here, you should only know that there are two different thoughts that are being connected, and you have to be very careful if any semicolon, any comma or coordinating conjunction can help you connect those sentences. Don't use a semicolon, and if you believe that the semicolon is a better choice, go for it. Then the last way to correct a run-on is use subordination. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie. She didn't want to risk high cholesterol. Now, using subordination means that you make the second part of the sentence totally dependent on the first one. Subordinating clauses are those clauses that depend for their meaning on the first part of the sentence. So you either change the second part of the sentence totally dependent clause, तो उसमें क्या होगा कि आपको एक subordinating conjunction add करना पड़ेगा और आपका sentence जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा meaningful और ज़्यादा connected जो है वो हो जाएगा. Now, looking at this subordination that they have used, see, this sentence becomes even more meaningful and interesting. Rhonda decided to stop eating pie because she didn't want to risk high cholesterol. So now we see that if we separate because she didn't want to risk high cholesterol, this is a part that is totally dependent for its meaning on the first part that is Rhonda decided to stop eating pie, because it is giving us the reason why she stopped eating pie, why she decided to stop eating pie, because she believed that it would risk high cholesterol and she didn't want to do that. So these are the four ways of correcting run-on sentences. You can use any one of those according to the need of your sentence. Now let's look at this exercise number 1. This is correct the run-on by putting a period at the end of the first thought and a capital letter at the start of the second thought. Now what you have to do here is that you simply have to identify the two thoughts and see के कहाँ पर comma आएगा और कहाँ पे full stop. Basically, you don't have to use a comma here. You just have to separate both the thoughts by putting a period at the end of the first sentence and starting off the second sentence with a capital letter. Now see, Gerald's motorcycle broke down. It's the first sentence. He was unable to go to school. Now Gerald's motorcycle broke down. Here is where your first sentence ends. So you need to put a full stop here and make this H capital H. He was unable to go to class. So Gerald's motorcycle broke down, full stop. He was unable to go to class. This is where your sentence would be correct, because these are two separate thoughts and यहाँ पर किसी coordination subordination की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You simply can put a full stop and make the next sentence start with a capital letter. Sentence number 2 is, the subway train sped through the station, a blur of windows and figures flashed in front of my eyes. Now look at this sentence. This also is slightly longer sentence, but we can clearly see which is the part where the first thought ends and the second begins. The subway train sped through the station, full stop. स्टेशन के बाद यहाँ फुल स्टॉप आएगा और एक सेंटेंस खत्म होगा. A blur of windows and figures flashed in front of my eyes. Now this person is talking while standing at the subway station, and when the train leaves, it's like from a distance it's a kind of a blur कि एक ghost सा move कर रहा है और उसमें blur है windows और figures का, and people are like the train is moving. So here our first thought ends and the second begins with a blur. So a would be capital and your next sentence would be starting off from here. So the subway train sped through the station, full stop, and A would be capital. A blur of windows and figures flashed in front of my eyes. This would be the second thought. Number 3, Jenny panicked. The gondola had stalled 400 feet above ground. Now we can very clearly see that the first part of the sentence has only a subject and a verb. Jenny panicked. Panicked is she became nervous, she got scared. So panicked के बाद यहाँ पे full stop आएगा, and your next sentence starts off with the gondola had stalled 400 feet above ground. So this is how you are going to separate these two sentences, by making them very clear and two separate thoughts and two separate sentences. Jenny panicked, full stop, the T capital, gondola had stalled 400 feet above ground. Number 4, half the class aced the exam, the other half of the students flunked. Half of the class aced the exam, the other half of the students flunked. Now we clearly see that there are two divisions, and half of the class did this and half did that. So we see कि आपका कहाँ पर एक thought खत्म हो रही है और कहाँ दूसरी शुरू हो रही है. Half of the class aced the exam. Aced का मतलब होता है exam छोड़ देना. Full stop and the T capital. The other half of the students flunked. So we have two thoughts that one of them ends at exam. The का T capital करेंगे. The other half of the students flunked. And the last example in this exercise is, one reason for the high cost of vegetable is the cost of gasoline. 1 gallon now costs over $2.50. Now you again see very clearly that we have a clear thought in which we are being told about the reason of the high cost of vegetables and then the actual reason. So one reason for the high cost of vegetables is the cost of gasoline. That is the cost of gasoline, and then the cost of gasoline is being described in the second sentence. The cost of gasoline, full stop, यहाँ पर आएगा और 1 gallon में O जो है वो capital हो जाएगा. So these will be two separate sentences, and we have corrected the run-on here. This was the fused sentence exercise. All these were fused sentences which you corrected by putting a full stop and making the second part of the sentence start with a capital letter, so that there are two separate sentences, two separate thoughts, और आपको दोनों में जो किसी भी किस्म का एक confused connection जो है वो नहीं है. Now moving on to the second exercise, rewrite the sentences by inserting the comma and the joining words that are and, but, or we have for, so, that logically connects the two thoughts in each sentence. Now exercise 2 is a little challenging in the sense that you've been given 4 coordinating conjunctions that you have to use to connect these sentences, but according to the meaning of the sentence. You have to see that picking up any one of these coordinating conjunctions makes your two sentences connect logically. You have to make a logical connection. So this exercise is different in the sense that you have to use the second technique of correcting a run-on sentence in this one. So it is, the telephone was ringing, the cell phone was also. So this is a kind of a mixed up sentence. We have no idea where the thought ends and how we are supposed to connect it. Which one is the coordinating conjunction that we have to use here? Let's read the sentence again and see. The telephone was ringing, the cell phone was also. Of course, we are talking about one kind of phone ringing and the cell phone was also ringing. So automatically there are two, the same type of two things that we are talking about, and they are doing the same function. So telephone was ringing and the cell phone was also ringing. You'll put a comma after ringing and then you add an and you say the cell phone was also. That means both the telephone and the cell phone were ringing. Something was obviously wrong with the lawn mower. It wasn't cutting the grass. Now again we see that we have a fused sentence. We have no full stop, no comma, nothing. So we have to make a logical connection. We have to make a logical choice out of these four coordinating conjunctions and put one of these here. Now you see that something was obviously wrong with the lawn mower. And then we are sort of given a reason or explanation why the lawnmower is not working. So we'll choose for from this list. It's right here, and add it here. Something was obviously wrong with the lawnmower, for it wasn't cutting the grass. And before for, we are going to add a comma as well. Something was obviously wrong with the lawnmower, comma, for it wasn't cutting the grass. Number 3. Sentence number 3 in this exercise, Tom and Jerry enjoyed the movie. They wished the popcorn had been less expensive. Now you see that we've been given a sentence where there is a comma. Isme comma splice hai. This sentence is an example of comma splice, as we see कि इसमें सिर्फ कॉमा नहीं चाहिए, हमें कोई एक और स्ट्रॉन्गर कनेक्शन चाहिए टू हेल्प मेक द टू सेंटेंसेस appear more connected and more logically related. So Tom and Jerry enjoyed the movie. They wished the popcorn had been less expensive. Although they enjoyed the movie, yet they believed that the popcorn they wished that the popcorn had been less expensive. So which coordinating conjunction would you be using here? Tom and Jerry enjoyed the movie, but they wished the popcorn had been less expensive. You already have a comma there. You are not supposed to take it away. You just have to put but here, because the word, the coordinating conjunction but, is making the sentence a very, very logically connected whole. Tom and Jerry enjoyed the movie, but they wished the popcorn had been less expensive. Moving on to sentence number 4, Brett moved from Bellingham to Bellevue. He wanted to get as far away as possible from his ex-girlfriend. Now you again see that we have two sentences that are the example of a fused sentence. We don't have a comma, we don't have a full stop, we have no logical connection between these two thoughts, and we are the ones who are to choose coordinating conjunction and see कि यहाँ पे हमें logical connection किस तरह से बनाना है. Brett moved from Bellingham to Bellevue. He wanted to get as far away as possible from his ex-girlfriend. Now the first part of the sentence tells us that he moved from one place to the other, and the second part of the sentence tells us the reason of his moving or taking himself away from that place. So in the previous one of the other examples here, we saw that the first part of the sentence gives us something, and then the other one the reason why it happened. So यहाँ पर भी बिल्कुल वही बात है. So वही वाला coordinating conjunction आप use करेंगे. Brett moved from Bellingham to Bellevue, for he wanted to get as far away as possible from his ex-girlfriend. And whenever you use a coordinating conjunction with such sentences, you are supposed to add a comma before that. So यहाँ पर Bellevue के बाद comma होगा, and then you will say for he wanted to get as far away as possible from his ex-girlfriend. Number 5, I decided to go back to school. I decided to change my major. Now these are two separate thoughts. Again, we have an example of a fused sentence. In sentence number 5, we have no idea where first thought ends and where the second one begins. Reading the sentence once or twice, you have that idea, but you have to be able to choose a logical connection by picking up that coordinating conjunction that fits here perfectly. I decided to go back to school and I decided to change my major. Now these are the two things that he or she wanted to do. So it's a kind of a list. So आप उसमें बीच में and जो है वो add करेंगे. That is going to be the best connection you can have with these sentences. Now this exercise was about picking up coordinating conjunctions and adding them to sentences to make logical connections and avoiding run-on sentences. Moving on to exercise number 3. Insert a semicolon where the break occurs between the two complete sentences, thoughts in each of the following sentences. Now this exercise is about your being able to identify places where you can use a semicolon. You have to read the sentences and see where you can identify a place जहाँ पर semicolon जो है वो logically fit आएगा. Let's read the sentences and see. Our 7Y guide subscription just ran out. Nobody remembered to renew it. Now, while reading the sentence, sometimes you naturally give a brief pause at a place where you realize कि वहाँ पे either comma, full stop या semicolon आना चाहिए. और in this example, we see that that natural pause comes right after ran out, because the subscription ran out and nobody remembered to renew it. These are the two separate thoughts. So our 7Y guide subscription just ran out, semicolon, यहाँ पर semicolon आएगा, after out and before nobody, and nobody remembered to renew it will be your second part of the sentence. The second sentence is Susie wanted to watch a Star Trek rerun. The rest of the family insisted on turning to the news network. Now this again is a very clear indication where you have to put a full semicolon, because one of the persons out of the whole family wanted to watch the rerun or retelecast of the Star Trek, but the rest of the family wanted to watch something else. So you have the semicolon right here. Susie wanted to watch a Star Trek rerun. यहाँ पे semicolon आएगा rerun के बाद, and then you have the rest of the family insisted on turning to the network news. So this is where while reading the sentence you believe, you feel that there is a natural pause, तो वहाँ पर आप semicolon जो है वो लगा देंगे. Number 3, Bonnie put a freshly baked batch of chocolate chip cookies on the counter to cool. Everyone gathered round for samples. Now here again automatically you understand कि कहाँ पर natural pause आया हुआ है और वहाँ पर आप semicolon लगाएंगे. Bonnie put a freshly baked batch of chocolate chip cookies on the counter to cool. Right here you are going to add the semicolon. Cool के बाद semicolon आएगा, and then everyone gathered round for samples. This was another activity that was done later on when she put the batch of cookies there. Number 4, about $25 million worth of pizza is eaten each year. An average of 300 new pizza parlors open every week. Now this sentence of course is again a kind of a very complicated fused sentence. आप जल्दी में पढ़ते हैं तो you have no idea कि कहाँ पे आपको semicolon लगाना है. About $25 million worth of pizza is eaten each year. This is where you have to add a semicolon. An average of 300 new pizza parlors open every week. This is a kind of a research where you have a very clear break between these two sentences, but while reading in a flow, sometimes it's not very clear. But here it is. Each year के बाद यहाँ आपका semicolon आएगा. An average of 300 new pizza parlors open every week. Number 5, sentence number 5 with exercise number 3. Nate never heard the third base coach screaming for him to stop. He was out at home plate by 10 feet. Now here again you saw that the sentence is a little longer, but there was a very clear, natural break or pause that you gave while reading the sentence. Let's read it again and find where it is. Nate never heard the third base coach screaming for him to stop. He was out at home plate by 10 feet. Now you see stop के बाद यहाँ पर आके आप एक बिल्कुल brief सा pause देते हैं, हल्का सा आपका puff of air comes out of your mouth, that is a little brief breath that you take and then you move on to the next part. So यहाँ पे आपका semicolon आएगा. Nate never heard the third base coach screaming for him to stop, semicolon, he was out at home plate by 10 feet. Here we are through with exercise number 3, and this exercise was about adding semicolon at the break of a sentence, and this was another very important technique of identifying run-on sentences and trying to correct them. Now looking at this exercise, this is about common transitional words. Transitional expressions which interrupt sentences often indicate run-ons. Transitional expressions should be set off with a semicolon before and a comma after. Now whenever you are using a transition word, transitional expression, you are supposed to put a semicolon before that and a comma after that. So these are the transitional words. We have a list of however, on the other hand, nevertheless, instead, nonetheless, in contrast, moreover, in addition, also, furthermore, in fact, then, therefore, as a result, consequently, otherwise, finally. So these are the transition words, and that bring in a transition from one thought to the other. How you jump from one thought to the other, that's what these expressions indicate. If you don't use a transition word and there is no comma, there is no full stop, so that's where you get into run-on sentences. वहाँ पे आप run-on sentences के errors जो हैं वो करते हैं. Another very important way to correct run-on sentences is to add transitional words. और transition words को ऐड करने के लिए यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल कि कहाँ पर कौन सा ट्रांजिशन वर्ड जो है वो फिट आता है और लॉजिकली वो सही है, वहाँ पे आप उसे ऐड करेंगे. So let's look at the next exercise, that is exercise number 4. For each item, choose a logical transition word from the list above and write in the space provided. In addition, put a semicolon before the transition and comma after it. Now you will see कि जो लिस्ट आपको ऊपर दिखाई है उसी में से आपको ट्रांजिशन वर्ड्स यहाँ पर चेक करने हैं, ऐड करने हैं, और उससे पहले आपको सेमीकोलन लगाना है ट्रांजिशन वर्ड से पहले और उसके बाद कॉमा लगाना है. सो लेट्स सी विच ट्रांजिशन वर्ड्स वी हैव हियर. द ट्री मस्ट बी स्प्रेड विद इंसेक्टिसाइड डैश द बग्स विल किल द फ्रूट्स. Now we have to find a very logical connection between these two sentences. We have to see which sentence, which transition word actually gets you to a conclusion where you see कि ये यहाँ पे run on जो है वो ख़त्म हो रहा है और आपका sentence logically connected है. The tree must be sprayed with insecticide. Now you see कि दोनों parts को अलग अलग analyze करें. आपके tree को insecticide से spray करना is important. Why? Because अगर नहीं करेंगे the bugs will kill the fruit. So ये because अगर नहीं करेंगे ऐसा हुआ तो, so इसकी जो आपके पास English equivalent होता है that is otherwise or else. The tree must be sprayed with insecticide, otherwise the bugs will kill the fruit. And we have the word otherwise right here in the list. Otherwise, right? So this word, this transition expression helps you connect these two sentences very, very logically. Next one is I agreed to help the comedian with his acts dash I heckled him. And remember, you have to put a semicolon before the transition word and comma after it. This is what you have to do. So when you are asked to identify transition words in a sentence, whatever word is enclosed in a semicolon and a comma, that is your transition word. Or sometimes they are your subordinating and coordinating conjunctions as well. I agreed to help the comedian with his acts dash I heckled him. Now I agreed to help the comedian with his act, but when I did it, what happened was that I heckled him. Heckled means I made him nervous, or I irritated him, or something like that. So this is going to be consequently. You have to add semicolon before that word, and then you have consequently. Consequently means as a result. When you did something, उसके result में क्या हुआ? That you heckled him. You said that you will help the comedian, but you actually made him nervous. और उसके बाद यहाँ पे comma आएगा. So I agreed to help the comedian with this act, semicolon, consequently, comma, I heckled him. Number 3, Fred never finished reading the novel. Dash, he bought the Cliff Notes. Now, if you are a very good reader of literature, you must know what Cliff Notes are, and that knowledge would help you understand कि यहाँ पे transition word जो है वो कौन सा आएगा. Fred never finished reading the novel. Dash, he bought the Cliff Notes. Now, when he was not able to read the novel, the whole novel, and try to understand what it was all about, he bought the Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes are basically notes on literary pieces जो आपको help करते हैं उस piece of literature को जल्दी पढ़ने में. So, when he could not read the novel in time, what he did was, therefore, he bought the Cliff Notes. And उसने क्या किया? That he bought the Cliff Notes. And then again, Fred never finished reading the novel. You will add a semicolon here, and then therefore, and then comma, he bought the Cliff Notes. My house was robbed last week. Dash, I bought a security alarm. Now this again goes with that sentence in which we used consequently. Something happened, and as a result of that you did something. So it is going to be, my house was robbed last week. As a result, I bought a security alarm. Week के बाद you will add a semicolon. Then you have as a result, and then comma. I bought a security alarm. And the last sentence in this exercise is, Juanita is taking 2 courses this semester. Dash, she is working 60 hours a week. She is taking 2 courses, and apart from that, उसके साथ she is working 60 hours a week. Juanita is taking 2 courses this semester, semicolon. Moreover, इसके अलावा, comma, she is working 60 hours a week. So this is the exercise where you are supposed to identify the place where you need to put a logical transitional word, and whenever you add a transition word to a sentence, you have to add a semicolon and then a comma. Now moving on, we see common dependent words. Common dependent words basically are your subordinating conjunctions. This is another word for the subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are where you need to make the second part of the sentence totally dependent on the first one. So, dependent words आपकी dependent clauses, that is subordinated clauses, उनको वो initiate करते हैं, उनके शुरू में आते हैं. So let's look at these common dependent words or subordinating conjunctions, और इन्हीं को आपने फिर next exercise में use करना है. We have after, before, although, even though, as, if, because, since. Now exercise 5, you have to choose a logical dependent word from the list above and write it in the space provided. इस list में से आपको dependent word choose करना है और उसको इस exercise में blank में लिखना है. Let's look at the sentences and see which dependent word you are supposed to use here. And we have only 3 sentences in this one. The instructor is lowering my grade in the course. Dash, I missed 3 major assignments. Now you see that you have something that is being done by someone और उसका reason भी आपको मिल रहा है. तो when you are giving a reason in your subordinating clause, you use one very important subordinating conjunction, that is because. So यहाँ पर आप ये conjunction use करेंगे. The instructor is lowering my grade in the course because I missed 3 major assignments, and there will be no comma, no semicolon before or after this, because subordinating conjunction से पहले ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. Coordinating conjunction से पहले आप semicolon और उनके बाद comma जो है वो लगाते हैं. Now you see that the instructor is lowering my grade. Why? What is the reason? Because I missed 3 major assignments. So this is how you have to identify a logical connection between the 2 sentences. Dash the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. Now you must have a very clear idea how it feels sitting in a roller coaster. So that is where that is the feeling that is being described. So you will choose one coordinating conjunction, subordinating conjunction from this list and add it here. Now out of these, let's see, dash the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. Now when the roller coaster comes down, that there is that feeling that something is coming upwards from your stomach and as if it will come out. वो जो एक churning होती है stomach में, वो एक nervousness की feeling, डर आपको लगता है. That's what the person is describing. So they are saying, as the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. As means जिस वक्त या जिस time. You can also say when the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. Or you can say as soon as the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. You can use any subordinating conjunction that can logically connect the sentences, not just those that are there. लेकिन इनमें से अगर आप choose करेंगे तो it would be as. As the roller coaster dropped a few feet, my stomach rose a few feet. Number 3, dash the softball game was being played. We sent out for a Chinese food. Now the transition word that we are going to use here, it's not in this list. Let's see, dash the softball game was being played, we sent out for Chinese food. Now this is where you see that something is happening and while that is happening वो कुछ और कर रहे हैं. So automatically that word came out of my mouth. While the softball game was being played, we sent out for a Chinese food. So this blank would take while as the answer. While the softball game was being played, we sent out for Chinese food. Now these exercises I hope helped you in understanding what run-on sentences are, how they are corrected, basically how they are identified, because when you cannot identify a run-on sentence, you simply have no idea how to correct it. So first of all, you need to know what are the 4 different ways in which you can identify a run-on sentence and then try to correct it with the help of your knowledge of semicolon, how to get rid of a fused sentence, how to avoid a comma splice, and then using dependent words or transition words, or connecting these sentences with the logical connection. So these 5 exercises were a very handy tool in getting to understand run-on sentences, identifying them first in your writing and then trying to correct them in a way that you totally avoid them and your writing becomes a very, very smooth, comprehensive whole. Now moving on to a very important exercise on identifying sentence fragments. Let's do this exercise and revise your knowledge of what sentence fragments are. Out of all the 3 sentence structures, advanced sentence structures, that is parallelism, run-on sentences and sentence fragments are the ones that are to be identified in the most easiest way. So let's quickly revise what sentence fragments are. A fragment means a piece, a part of a sentence. So sentence fragments are sentences or parts of sentences that miss either a subject or an object, or both, a subject or verb, or both. या तो उसमें सब्जेक्ट नहीं होता, या उसमें वर्ब नहीं होता, या दोनों नहीं होते, जिसकी वजह से वो सेंटेंस कंप्लीट नहीं होता. इट्स जस्ट अ फ्रैगमेंट, इट्स हैंगिंग इन द मिडल एंड यू हैव नो आइडिया कि वो किसी और पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन से कनेक्ट होकर कंप्लीट सेंटेंस बनाएगा. सो दिस इज द सेंटेंस फ्रैगमेंट. इफ़ यू नो वेरी क्लियरली व्हाट सेंटेंसेस आर, अगर आप अपनी ग्रामर की शुरू की जो नॉलेज है इस कोर्स की, उसमें आप उसको रिव्यू करें. वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट सेंटेंस एंड इट्स पार्ट्स. सो गो बैक, try to understand that. If you have a very clear idea what sentences are, how many different parts they are divided into, it will be very, very simple and easy for you to identify sentence fragments in your writing and try to correct them according to the need of your writing. So what we are going to do here is that this exercise is about sentence fragments. There are different sentences that are given to you, and you have to identify them as either sentence fragment, a sentence, or fragment. If the sentence has its own subject and verb, it is a complete sentence, and if it does not have both or either one of them, it is a fragment. So determine which of the following word groups are sentence fragments and which are complete sentences. If the group of words is a complete sentence, write S. If the group of words is a fragment, write F. This is what you have to do. So let's read through these sentences, and if the sentence, the group of words is a complete sentence, you have to write S here, and if it is a fragment, you have to write F here. If your parents think today's fashions are weird, if your parents think today's fashions are weird, then what? There has to be something that is to be connected with this sentence to make it a complete sentence. You see that there is just one clause, that is the if clause. अब जो if clauses होती है उसमें आगे जो condition वाली clause होती है, that is the result clause, वो यहाँ पर नहीं है. If your parents think today's fashions are weird, you have to add something to this sentence to make it a complete sentence. So this is a fragment. The first one, you have to write F here because it is not a complete sentence. They should see the clothes people wore in the Middle Ages. They should see the clothes people wore in the Middle Ages. They, we have the subject, should see is the verb, and this is the rest of the part of the sentence. So this is a complete sentence. You need to put an S here. Number 3, patterns of the floral or geometric shapes popular. Now again, this is a fragment because we don't have a verb here, it's missing from here, and again we have it as a topic form. ये किसी चीज़ का टाइटल तो हो सकता है लेकिन ये सेंटेंस नहीं हो सकता. So it is a fragment. Liked clothes that were half one color and half another. Liked clothes. Who liked clothes? We have no subject here, so this one again is a fragment. Number 5, might have one green leg and one red leg. Might have one green leg and one red leg. Might have, who might have? The clothes, the people, the animals, what? So this again is a fragment. People often heavy leather belts decorated with metal and jewels. Now here again we have we are missing a verb. People often wore heavy leather belts decorated with metal and jewels. If the verb were there, it would have been a sentence, otherwise it is a fragment. Edges of clothing into shapes called dags. This again is a fragment because we don't have a subject here. Who is doing this? Who is making edges of clothes into shapes called dags? So number 7 is also a fragment. Sleeves with streamers that were 2 or 3 feet long. This again is in the form of a title. It does not have a subject, so it is again a fragment. Shoes had long toes that were padded to retain their shape. Now this is a sentence because we have a subject, had long toes, had is the verb, long toes that were padded to retain their shape, and shoes is the subject, and we have a verb, and then we have the rest of the part of the sentence. So this is a sentence. Tights of velvet or silk. This again does not have any subject and verb. Who was wearing tights of velvet or silk, whether we are talking about people wearing them or they were just displayed or they were bought or they were being sold or they were made. यहाँ पे ऐसी कोई बात indicate नहीं की है, so this again is a fragment. When clothes were edged and lined in fur. See, when clothes were edged and lined in fur, then what? What happened then? This is a clause, this is a subordinating clause, but we don't have the part that it depends on. So this again is a fragment. Layers very common in medieval clothing. Now here again we are missing a verb. If it was, it would have been layers were very common in medieval clothing. ये आपका sentence होता, लेकिन अब यहाँ verb नहीं है, इसलिए ये भी fragment है. Was a way of displaying wealth. What was a way of displaying wealth? We don't have a subject here, so this again is a fragment. Number 13 is a fragment. The more clothes a person could afford to wear, the wealthier that person was considered to be. Now here again we have a complete sentence. The more clothes the person could afford to wear, the wealthier that person was. So we have a proper subject. We're talking about a person who could afford to wear more clothes. He was considered wealthier. So this is a sentence. Number 14 is a sentence. Number 15, might wear a short-sleeved tunic over a long-sleeved tunic with a sleeveless mantle overall. Now number 15 mein you see might wear. Who might wear? Who are we talking about? Who might wear a short sleeved tunic and then a long sleeved tunic and then a mantle over top? Mantle is a kind of a cover jo back se aapko cover karta hai. So this again, we don't have a subject here, so this is a fragment. Number 15 again is a fragment. The usual head covering for men, a hood with an attached shoulder cape and a long extended point like a tail. The usual head covering for men, we have the description of a usual head covering, but we have no idea what the person is talking about, who is wearing this, whether we are just talking about it's being displayed somewhere or whether it is actually being worn by someone. So number 16 again is a fragment. Women wore a neckcloth pinned to their braids, hiding their hair. Now here again we have a very clear complete sentence. We see that it is the women here is subject. We are talking about they are wearing a neckcloth pinned to their braids. They used to wear a neckcloth जो उनके बालों के साथ connected होता था, that could hide their hair. So number 17 is a complete sentence. We have the subject, we have the verb, and this is your predicate. On top of the head would wear a veil, a linen crown or a small round hat. Who would wear that? We have a very clear description of what is happening, but who is doing it, who is it happening to, we have no idea. On top of the head would wear a veil, a linen crown or a small round hat. This we are talking about women. उस वक्त के ज़माने में औरतें सर पे जो टोपी वगैरह पहनती थी, कैप, उसके साथ वो हैट, उसके साथ एक वेल जो है वो कनेक्टेड होता था. So but we don't know that they are talking about women. वो तो हम खुद assume कर रहे हैं. So यहाँ पर subject नहीं है, इसलिए number 18 again is a fragment. In the later Middle Ages, women wore jeweled metal nets over their coiled braids. Now here again we have a complete sentence. In the later Middle Ages, women wore jeweled metal nets over their coiled braids. When? In the later Middle Ages, who wore it? Women. And what were they doing? They wore jeweled metal nets. So we have a subject, we have a verb, and we have a predicate. So number 19 is a sentence. Current fashions a little boring in comparison. Again, current fashions a little boring in comparison. Current fashions are a little boring in comparison. We are missing a verb here. So this again, number 20 is a fragment. Now this is one of these exercises. You see in this handout we have another one जो इसी तरह की एक exercise है. You can always go over and practice this one as well. This would enhance your knowledge. This exercise basically helped you understand what sentence fragments are and how to separate them from the complete sentences. What we did in this exercise was that we first identified the groups which were complete sentences and we wrote S with them. और जो complete sentences नहीं थे, जो fragments थे जिनमें या तो subject missing था या verb missing था या दोनों नहीं थे, उनके साथ हमने F लिख दिया because they were fragments. And there is another such exercise right after this one. You can practice that on your own by getting this handout from the website, and that definitely would help you understand what sentence fragments are. As I said before, sentence fragments basically are the easiest to identify out of all three advanced sentence structure elements that we did, that is parallelism, run-on sentences, and sentence fragments. Now let's look at this another exercise on sentences and sentence fragments. This is basically a story that has been written in separate isolated sentences, and this would help you understand what sentence fragments are, how to identify them in a better way, because this is a kind of a story. It is a connected whole. All the various parts of sentences are connected, and when they are separated, you can easily understand, you can easily pick up either sentence fragments or sentences. A sentence expresses a complete thought or idea and contains a subject and predicate, that is the verb part of the sentence. When a sentence is unfinished, either because it is missing a subject or verb, or both, because it lacks the information needed to express the thought, it is a sentence fragment. This is a kind of a review of what we just did. A sentence fragment is a part of a sentence which either misses a subject or a verb or both of them, and we'll be identifying those sentences. We have to do the same thing that we did with the previous exercise. We have to read the sentences one by one, and we have to write an S with the complete sentence and an F with a fragment. Let's start. Long ago, long ago in a faraway land. Long ago in a faraway land, what was happening? Who was there? We don't even have a verb and we don't have a subject. So in this part of the sentence, we are missing both subject and verb. So this is a fragment. Number 2, there lived a princess named Gretchen. There lived a princess named Gretchen. So this is a complete sentence. एक princess रहती थी जिसका नाम था Gretchen. So number 2 is sentence. The most beautiful girl in the land. The most beautiful girl in the land can be a title. Who is the most beautiful girl in the land? What is she doing? अब इसमें यहाँ पे आपके पास ना subject है और ना verb है. Most beautiful girl कौन है और क्या कर रही है वो यहाँ नहीं है. So it is going to be a fragment. She was still very unhappy. Although she was beautiful, she was a princess, but she was still unhappy. She, subject, was, verb, and this is the rest of the sentence. So number 4 is a complete sentence because we have both subject and verb here. Her 21st birthday was approaching. Her 21st birthday was approaching. Yes, we have a verb and we have subject as well, her 21st birthday, and we have a connection that tells us that the sentence is complete. So number 5 is a sentence. Number 6, her twin brother Prince Reginald would become king. This again is a complete sentence. Her twin brother Prince would become king. So we have a subject, that is her twin brother, उसका नाम भी बीच में लिखा है. He is the one who is to become a king. So number 6 is a complete sentence. Number 7, she would have to marry King Joman of Farland. Now, she would have to marry King Joman. She, subject, would have to marry. So we have a subject and verb. Our sentence has both the important requirements of what is needed to make a complete sentence. So this is a sentence. Number 7 is a complete sentence. A very cruel and unkind king. A very cruel and unkind man. Who? And what did he do? We are talking about the qualities of the person who was a cruel and unkind person, but we don't know who that person is and what that person did. So number 8 is also a fragment. Number 9, she decided to run away and formed an excellent plan. Yes, this again is a sentence because we have a subject and a verb here. It's not just one sentence, we have 2 sentences connected with and. She is the subject who did 2 things. She decided to run away and she formed an excellent plan. The plan required the help of her friends, Grumpy and Happy. Now the plan, whatever she made, required what? The help of her friends. The plan is the subject, required is the verb here. So this number 10 is also a sentence. They were eager to help as they did not like the idea of their friend being unhappy for the rest of her life. This again is a complete sentence. Why were they eager to help and who was eager to help? They is the sentence, subject. They were eager to help as they did not like the idea of their friend being unhappy for the rest of her life. Number 11 is a sentence. Number 12, she disguised herself as a maid and left the palace. She is the subject, disguised is the verb, and we have two sentences connected, and के बाद दूसरा sentence है left the palace. She did two things, he disguised and left. So हमारे पास एक subject और दो verbs हैं. So आपका number 12 जो है वो भी एक sentence है. Unfortunately, her brother saw her and thought she was being kidnapped. Now it was not in her luck. That was not a lucky day for her, so unfortunately her brother saw her. Her brother is the subject here, saw is the verb, and के through आपका दूसरा part of sentence add किया हुआ है, that is she was being kidnapped. इसमें भी आपका जो subject है वो brother है, so we have a subject and two verbs here, so your number 13 is also a sentence. Set out to rescue her. Set out to rescue her. Who set out to rescue? Set out का मतलब होता है to start a journey, to move on and to do something. So who did that? We know that it was her brother, लेकिन sentence में उसको mention नहीं किया हुआ. So this is going to be a fragment. She ran until she reached Nearland. She ran. She is the subject. Ran is the verb. We have a complete sentence here. Number 15 is your sentence. A happy and somewhat silly place full of very silly people. A happy and somewhat silly place full of very silly people. Of course we know this part of the story is telling us about Nearland, but in the sentence we have no mentioning of Nearland. उसके बारे में हमें कुछ नहीं पता. It's just a title, it's just a quality being discussed. Subject भी नहीं है, verb भी नहीं है. What are the silly people doing? Where are they? Who are they? What are we talking about, right? So this 16 is going to be a fragment again. Number 17, when Prince Reginald reached Nearland, when he reached there, what did he do? This is a kind of a subordinating clause that is there. We don't have the main part of the sentence, so that would contain the subject. So verb. So जो action Prince Reginald ने किया है वो हमारे पास नहीं है. So number 17 again is a fragment. Number 18, she agreed to go home when he promised that when he became king he would not make her marry anybody. Now she agreed to go home. Of course the brother found her sister and they talked, and she was convinced to be taken home when he promised that when he became king he would not make her marry anybody. Now the sentence is very long, but we have all the subjects and verbs. She agreed, she is the subject, agreed is the verb. When he promised, he is the subject, promised is the verb. When he became king, he subject, became is the verb. He again is the subject, would not make her marry. The whole verb group is your verb. So we have a lot of subjects and verbs here. The whole sentence has a complete sense. It is not in the part of a fragment. So number 18 is going to be your sentence again. Now this exercise was a kind of a review for your sentence fragments, as it's important to understand the difference between a sentence and sentence fragment before you go over and identify and correct sentence fragments. Sentence fragment is a part of a sentence that is either missing a subject or verb or both. जब इसमें subject verb या सब्जेक्ट वर्ब दोनों नहीं होते तो वो फ्रैगमेंट बन जाता है. इट्स लाइक हैंगिंग इन द मिडल. वी हैव नो कनेक्शन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस और पार्ट ऑफ सेंटेंस विद द रेस्ट ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन. सो दिस इज द an exercise that can help you enhance or improve or review your knowledge of sentence fragments. Another such exercise, as I told you, is there in the previous handout. You can read that, you can practice that on your own and check what you have gained from this lecture. Now for lecture number 13, we are done with the practice exercises of both run-on sentences and sentence fragments. With run-on sentences, this is a kind of a sentence, advanced sentence structure that is very important for being able to compose very good pieces of writing. So when you start off with your writing component of your course that is coming up in the upcoming lectures, before that we need to enhance or check how much you are capable of writing good sentences, writing good paragraphs. And when you are able to compose good sentences or correct sentences, logically accurate sentences, you are able to write good paragraphs. And when you are able to write good paragraphs, you can make those paragraphs into longer essays, and you can communicate your thoughts and your ideas about things. So we discussed in today's lecture run-on sentences in a lot more detailed as compared to the previous lecture, in which we just briefly went through the definition and basic examples. We did exercises on run-on sentences. There were 5 exercises in which you were told how to basically understand, to identify a run-on sentence. You need to see if it has a comma or it is just a fused sentence, or it is a comma splice. Then there were 4 ways of correcting run-on sentences. Number 1 was adding a comma. Number 2 was making both the sentences separating both the sentences by putting in a full stop in the middle and making the next sentence first letter capitalized. Then we could add subordination, that is subordinating conjunctions, or by adding coordinating conjunctions or a semicolon. And whenever you use a coordinating conjunction, you add a semicolon before it and a comma after it. And then we also did exercise on transitional sentences, transitional expressions, and you had to pick transitional expressions from a list and put them in the exercise. And also subordination words, that is the dependent words. Dependent words is another word for subordinating conjunctions. We did 3 sentences in which you had to logically connect the sentence with the help of a subordinating conjunction. And then we did 2 exercises on sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are very important in the sense that you need to be able to identify a sentence from a fragment. A fragment is a part of a sentence that is either missing a subject or a verb or both. Some sentences don't have any subject or verb, and you can easily identify that there is something terribly wrong with these sentences. And it's easier to identify them if you have a very good sound knowledge of sentences and fragments. As per your previous lectures, in the beginning of this course we have talked about what sentences are. So what you did in those exercises was that you were to read a sentence and see if it is a sentence, you wrote S with it, and if it was a fragment, you wrote F with it. So these practice exercises actually enhanced your knowledge of run-on sentences and sentence fragments. If you still have a problem, you can go back to the previous lecture and this lecture. You can revise this lecture again, and you will be able to understand how run-on sentences and sentence fragments can be identified and corrected. Advanced sentence structures are the 3 very important elements to make you a good writer, because when you start writing, you need to know how you have to connect sentences, because there is a thought process that is coming, and you sometimes have a lot of thoughts coming up in your mind, but you are at a loss to connect them, put them to a piece of paper, and make them into a complete whole. So that's where this knowledge of advanced sentence structures comes in, and I hope this lecture helped you understand both these elements very, very clearly, and we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.